I think Leghole is seriously underrated. Well, maybe not Leghole itself, but the mechanic it represents. Direct attacking. Ignoring your opponent's monsters and attacking the opponent's life points directly is quite a lot of attackers' initiative, which isn't really seen in other games. For example, in Magic, you declare attackers, then your opponent can choose to block with their creatures. If the attacking creature is unblocked, the opponent takes the damage. Note that there is not a way to target an opponent's creature for an attack, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Although there are dedicated cards which perform this function. On the Hearthstone side of the comparison, you can target minions or the opponent with attacks, unless they have one or more minions with taunt, in which case only those taunt minions can be targeted. In Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like every monster has taunt, protecting the opponent from direct attacks, and this is where Leghole should shine. Small, unblockable creatures like Mistcloak Herald see play. Of course, tribal buffs and equipment help a lot. But the core mechanic is the reason for the power level of an otherwise unassuming card. It is curious that this is not the case in Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. Part of the problem boils down to raw card advantage, with a lot of equip cards being required to deal significant damage. Although Gear Golem the Moving Fortress is an exception when combined with Sword and Shield and 2 copies of Limiter Removal. But his OTK is more the product of the power of doubling. It is a good thing that Dark Energy and Dark Energy Generator are anime exclusive. Although, I do want to draw attention to a couple cards which tried to fix this problem by buffing themselves. Mucus Yolk and its successor Raging Flame Sprite, which gain 1,000 attack points each turn, but outside of stall strategies, they never saw much play. And even in stall decks, they are generally outclassed by cards like Wave Motion Cannon. Part of the problem is the speed of the game and the abundance of spot removal, which prevents the cards from remaining on the field for very long. So what about a monster which starts off with high attack points, which can attack directly? Ignore the clunkiness of the Earthbound Immortal part of this effect, but Asilapiscu has 2,500 attack points and can attack directly. This is not enough to one-shot the opponent, but this card boasts quite the disincentive against spot removal, since it packs an absolute zero effect, which casts an Okazi effect for each monster destroyed. And yet, the Hummingbird still isn't good. The question becomes, what confluence of effects are necessary to make direct attacking a real threat? The Watt archetype has a variety of stun effects, but going a step further and borrowing the battle phase shutdown from ancient gear monsters would help, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Offers quite a lot of counterplay options in the battle phase. Hexproof, or the inability to be targeted, seen in Magispectors, would help the monsters to stick around, but they can still become the target of attacks, since destruction by battle is often a monster removal option. Monsters like Marauding Captain and Solar Flare Dragon dissuade attacking without shutting down the battle phase. But the final hurdle is power. An 8,000 attack point monster is ridiculous, but maybe one which can buff itself like Chaos Necromancer or Goblin King. Although another avenue for power is with multiple attacks. When attacking directly, a Hayabusa Knight effect is functionally identical to negative energy, and a Hydra Viper effect is similar to the attack tripling effect of Negative Energy Generator, although Hydra Viper comes with a ludicrously expensive cost. Hopefully Konami will not print a card with too many of these effects, but the potential for direct attacking hasn't truly been realized yet. And maybe that is for the best, since unblockable creatures are often oppressive, and the keyword can elevate even the most unassuming card to a serious threat to both the opponent and even the health of the game.